All right. Let's see here. Give me a minute, you guys. I'm just setting up my everything. Um, Let me share this to oops. You can share it too if you want to your pages. Mm. Bear with me, guys, because you know I told you that I'm still getting used to this.
So I just share this one.
No. If you go to my page, you'll see us live right now.
I can't see us live. Come on.
Really? Let me see. Oh no, on my Divinely Crown.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. Okay. While you're doing that. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Divinely Crowned Conversations podcast. I am your girl, Davina, and I'm so excited that we are live today. As you saw from the flyer, today we have Miss Tavia Moore as my divine guest, and I am so excited for us to be able to have this conversation. As you guys know from previous episodes, Divinely Crowned is all about just having real, honest, open, and transparent conversations about the everyday journey of being the queens we are destined to be, from where we come from, where we're going, and where we are even right now. So I'm so excited today to have Miss Tavia here, interviewing her.
Hey.
So first and foremost, why don't you introduce yourself to the people?
Uh, I'm I'm not real good at
It's
at
okay.
talking myself up a little bit, but it's Tavia Moore, head coach and director of the Vybe Queenz dance team. I feel like a rapper right now, like
Yeah.
about to spit a hot 16 or something. So, trying to get it all together.
No,
But
you're good.
yeah, that's pretty much, mother, girlfriend, all that good stuff.
Yes.
Hmm.
Girlfriend.
Girlfriend.
So pretty much a backstory about Tavia and I've known her like for a few years. My best friend played here and there on and off. I think even now probably played football for her boyfriend, for the Bulldogs, and that's kind of how I met Tavia. And I just always remember her being this really bubbly, free spirit woman, and I'm like, she's just so adorable. And then just following her on social media, and then recently we've been just connecting more through
Mm.
her program she has going on. So as we've connected, and I've kind of heard her story, and we've kind of went back and forth with our stories. I just felt like it was like I just wanted to highlight her. I'm like, you're really just a beautiful person, and I want to highlight you and talk about your journey. Like I said, Divinely Crown is all about just talking about our journeys. We all have a story, as women, as queens, and sometimes our voices aren't heard in the way we want them to be heard, or at all for that matter. So I was like, yeah, let me get my girl on here, so she can share her story and just the impact she's making. For those who don't know, she has a dance team in Erie called the Vybe Queenz.
VQ all day.
VQ, yes. And these young queens are killing it. Like, they are doing amazing things.
Thank
They've been
you.
doing competitions, videos. I just saw the snip of the video you're getting ready to launch soon, and it's just beautiful. So and of course, Divinely Crown is all about queens. So why not, talk to the woman who is trying to impact these young queens? So pretty much, let's start back. Let's go all the way back. We got to talk about our journeys of where we come from. So tell me a little bit about young Tavia and where she comes from.
Man, I had like that whole crazy upbringing, like I had a crazy childhood, that rough trying to figure out survival mode type of childhood, foster care placements, adoptions, like all of that's in a card, but I don't know. It's crazy. I really don't like taking it back that far because it's just like that trauma that, once you heal from it, it's just like you're ready to move on from it. You relive it so many times that once you heal from it, it's just like, it's part of the story, but it's not where I'm at as far as where I come from. Like I got to learn a lot of living with different people. I've lived with Africans, white people.
Oh, wow.
Like white people like that. Yeah. Like I just live with all different types of ethnicities and different races. So I've gotten to get a feel of so many different people and how different ways of living. And I think to me, like that just like molded me in how to be around certain different people, how to adapt, how to, just really mold myself. And I was able to be around a lot at a young age. So the way my life is turning out now is because I was able to use a certain amount of, okay, I've been through this already. Let me apply this from learning this. And you know what I'm saying? I try not to. All right, first off, I'm not good at speaking.
It's okay. Listen,
so it's hard for me, but
I don't think anybody on here is a professional. This is, like I said, this is all about just being real and raw, and to even talk about like, no, firsthand, this is for me and you. This is a safe space. I will not put you in any situation.
Oh no, it's not like that. It's just like when you ask like where that come from, it's just like once you heal from it, it's just like when you coming from it and going back to it. It's just like reliving emotions that you've already dealt with. Me being 32, it's just like, I've been through all the whole little that part of my life. Yes, I've been adopted. Yes, I've been through foster cares and placements and things like that. And now like me and my biological mom, like we have an amazing relationship. Growing up now, it's like I can realize like why I went through that journey. That she had that childhood trauma. Good thing like when it came my time, I was able to use I didn't take that route of, I'm going through this because I went through this at life. I applied it differently. I really feel like my journey now is just like so much better than what I've been through.
For sure. So and I totally understand that because who wants to relive trauma? So let's talk about where you are right now. You are doing some amazing things, and I know you are a mother.
Definitely.
So with you being a mother and doing all the things you're doing right now, like what has, even just growing into this woman, how has that shifted your life? You talk about like, being in foster care and things like that. How has that how has that made you the mother you are?
Honestly, like you cannot prepare to be a mom. Like when no matter what you can. And I realize like even just having this dance team now, like I feel like that is where I'm able to see my faults as a mom. Like that actually helps me mold me being a better mother. I'm able to give compassion in certain areas where it's like I can't judge nobody. I can't judge. I cannot place blame or anything. Like it really puts you in like, man, like I'm the first person to feel some type of way. Oh, that parent didn't come to a show. Why wasn't you there? And then it's like, it makes me check myself like, girl, you done missed recitals. You done missed things too as well. Like it makes you be able to take yourself out and really like everybody has a story. Everybody's living totally different lives, and having 14 different girls, 14 different personalities, 14 different situations. Everybody's going through something at certain times. Like, and this is like, for me, like it helps me with the relationship with my own daughter, and I
Mm.
have the pleasure to actually raise a bonus baby. You know, she's 16, so I'm in
Mhm.
that realm of being able to talk to her about things that I can't talk to my 8-year-old about, that she
Yeah.
doesn't understand yet. And it's such a blessing to be able to have her come to me and like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And I'm just like, oh, I'm glad you want to come to me, but I'm like, wow, I have to look forward to this when my daughter's 16. And it's like, I'm now like being around so many little girls and seeing how they look up to what I'm doing. Like it's such a good feeling. It's such a good feeling to know that they get excited to come to practice every single day. Coach Tay, look
Yeah.
what I learned. Look what I did, you know. And I go home and then my daughter's like, Mom, look, I just learned how to do this today. Like,
Oh.
I can't wait to go to practice to show the girls. And it's like, oh man, wait till we get there, y'all. Like, it's growing to be such a sisterhood. Like it's
Mm.
growing to be something that is just like I couldn't even fathom this being something. It started as a hobby. It
Yeah.
started as me getting to little girls together in East parking lot and just
Wow.
dancing, just not having no way, not having a vision, not having just, you know, my man was on the football field doing
Yeah.
his thing, and you know, little girls, everybody's waiting for their brothers to get done, and it was just like, come on y'all, let's just, you know, I've
Oh.
always had it in me, like me being 24, 25, calling my best friend like, hey girl, you want to make up a dance? She like, we,
Oh.
of course I do, come over. So it's like I never grew out of it.
Yeah.
And then once we, you know, start putting things together, it was just like, I like this, I love it.
Wow.
You know, I also actually, my man actually helped catapult all of this. Like,
Shout out to
I
the man.
can't. Yes, shout out to
Shout out
Coach
to
Holly.
Holly.
You know, like
Holly.
he catapulted
That's
all this
awesome.
because, you know, in that pillow talking stage, what's your dreams and
Mhm.
aspirations and all that. And I used to always tell him, like, I want to be a part of a dance team. Like, I want to have a
Wow.
dance group and stuff like that. And, you know, it was that, oh, okay, you know, that's cool. And then, like, literally, like a month later, he called me and was like, I got a group of girls. You need to come down here. And I'm like, no. He's like, yes, you are.
Wow.
You're going to do this. And I was just like, I'm not ready to do it.
Yeah.
And he was just like, you don't have a choice.
Yeah. Well,
And
yeah.
it really was like that push that I needed, because it was something that I wanted to do, but I never knew about how going about doing it. You know, I have epilepsy.
Okay.
And I have like severe lung issues, and I always kept that like, I can't do it because I'm not going to do it because. And it really spiraled into something where like he's a person really pushing you, like, this is something you good at, like you better than you think you are, like go after it, like why are you selling yourself too short? And
Wow.
it got to the point where every time I get to a stepping stone, it's like he be more excited for me, like y'all about to take off, you about to blow up, now I'm like, yeah, now I'm about to do the next thing. Like, it's just that having somebody behind you to really just like, when I look back about how it all started from being in a parking lot to here, is like this one person believed in something that I thought that I could never do because, oh, we in Little Erie, oh, my health is so bad, oh, you know, and it really brought me into a way where it's like anything is really possible. Like,
Wow.
I can't believe, like, in a little old me, like, you know, no team, no coaches, no nothing. I'm the brains of the operation. I'm the administrator. I'm the coach. I'm the nurse. I'm the pillowcase when their girls come crying about outside things, like, you know. And at any given time, there's always 9 to 10 girls spending at my house, and
Wow.
it's a beautiful thing. Like, it's a very, very beautiful thing once I break it down and I really sit around like, wow.
Yes. Speaking of break it down,
down.
I'm like, oh my God, we have so much to unpack out of all of that. So you talk about, you know, this is something you talk to your man during the pillow talking stages about you wanting this dream. Like, when did that dream come? Has it something like when you were younger did you want it, or did you dance when you were younger, or is it something that you've always, like, you just kind of in these last few years felt?
No, I never grew out of that. Like, and my life was so chaotic that I could never control nothing but my movement, nothing but dance. You know, that was the only thing I could control.
Yes.
So, you know, whenever I go to a new home, I would always be in a room. Like, I'm very, if you know me, when I go home, I go straight to my room. Like, it's just that's the safe place. That's where I
Wow.
feel safe. And I used to always find a safe space in anybody's house and close the door and just throw on music and just move. There was no technicality in any of it. It was just
Yes.
moving because I could control that. That's what I could control. And I just never grew out of it. And my best friend, she loves music. And I used to, sis, let's go, being 30 years old, like, sis, let's make up an 8 count. And she always would be down 6 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. It didn't even matter. Like, she was always down, and I never grew out of it. And another thing that kind of just like really made me know that I really needed to keep going with this is like in 2017, I lost my sister. And I lost her in a worse way. Like, I lost her in a way where it was like, I didn't feel like I could go on. Like, and she's the only person that always used to be like, sis, you gonna do this dance team stuff, like, and then I got to the part where like, I'm too old for that. Like, I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
And when she passed away, that's when it really was like, my man, like, go after what you want to do. Like, I'm here. You can't ride with everything I'm doing. You got to have your own path.
Yeah.
Like, get your own aspiration. And his passion used to drive me, like, to see him working all these different jobs and doing all. I was like, oh, well, if he can do that, I can do this. And it's not necessarily the same. It's like, when you find a passion, something you really, really love to do, you will do it for free.
Facts.
Like, you will find a way to figure it out.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, like, not even when it started, it didn't start as, I just love that going to meeting up and those little girls saying, I learned to do this today. Coach Tay, look what I learned.
Yeah.
Like, and that was something important to me, like, oh, well, what's our grades? It's like, oh, our grades is good. Can we do the dance now? Like, and that to me was just like, so motivational. Like, and whenever I had to cancel practice, why is practice canceled today? Why don't we have practice today? And then I was like, wait, they really like this. Like, this is something that I have to keep up with, and the growing pains, once you find a direction, that's the hardest part to keep going, because not everybody see your vision. Not everybody respect it. Not everybody's going, they don't grind for it like you do. They don't see, they see the result and it's, I can do it too. And it's like, all right, you got to understand though, there's a lot of sweat, tears, and money down the drain because I thought that, and one thing you got to understand, what I understand about the experience is cutting corners is not the answer. You're not going to get nowhere fast.
Sure.
I've been doing this for 5 years and this is the 5th year that I'm actually seeing the results that I want to see because I'm putting the time, the effort, just the brains behind it all. That's the hardest part, is really like being the brains behind it,
Yes.
And when nobody cares about it like you do, you got to figure out your own path. Like, everybody's not going to agree with every decision. Everybody's not going to understand why you're taking the route that you're taking. Because everybody will say, you need a team. Like, eventually, yes, I know. But let me invest. Let me figure out the hard parts. Because, man, even though y'all see the result, the hard part is the back end. That's the part that.
So with you saying the hard part, like so I kind of, I feel like I want to make sure I'm pulling out things you're saying because, you started and you told me like your sister, you passed, and that's where your drive came from. And I even want to kind of take it a step back without like reliving trauma. You said you were in foster care. So when you would go into people's houses and I believe that's what you're saying, like when you went into different foster cares and you would just go in a room and dance, like what, and I feel like that has a lot to do with even like mental health.
Definitely.
In a way.
Definitely.
So with you growing up in foster care and, finding an outlet, like how important it was that for you to kind of get your mental health your mental state where it is to be able to be like, listen, like I know where I've come from. I know what I've been through. And I know my passions and I want to be able to pour into other young women through my passions to help them maybe even heal certain things they're going through. So how has that like affected you being in these situations to, where you are now as well?
A lot of that came from like, I guess the healing, like the
Mhm.
childhood trauma, like going through so much and then having a little girl that looks up to what you're going through, like seeing the examples that you're setting.
Mhm.
You know, I realize I don't have the best communication skills sometimes. You know, it's not easy for me to articulate myself. I'm not going to go back and forth. I shut down. I
Mhm.
know that, you know, then when I see my daughter doing that, I'm sitting there saying, you need to learn how to. And it's like, she can't do something I didn't
You
teach
didn't.
her
Yeah.
to do. How can I expect my baby to follow in a footstep I'm not creating? That's impossible. Like, I need to be able to set the example I want her to be.
Yeah.
My daughter, like, I started this when she was 2 years old.
Oh, wow.
When she was 2 years old, she was running around. She wasn't even interested in it. And this year, she, Mommy, can I please be a Vybe Queen? I'm like, of course you can be a Vybe Queen. Like, and my dreams come true.
Oh.
Like, and now she's just like running around her house, and it's all she talks about, and it's all she wants to be. And it's just like, I created that standard for my baby. Like, I'm that example that I wanted in that, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm really breaking generational curses. You know, my grandmother, she was an only child. She had the craziest upbringing. My mother, she has sisters, and they all had crazy upbringings. And it was just like, I had a crazy upbringing, but my child don't have to. I don't have to live that generational, putting that trauma on my baby. I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in a situation where I'm being loved correctly. She's in a home where she's spoiled rotten. You know, she's seeing her mother be happy, and, you know, being told, like, you know, I understand my faults and my wrongs, the shadow work that I've been doing with myself and creating that. Wow, you're not always right.
Yeah.
Maybe it is hard for you to accept criticism. Maybe it is a time that you be able to step back and say, you do need help, but you got to get it the way you know how.
Yeah.
You know, everything. It's easy for somebody to tell you you're not doing something right when they're not doing it. It's easy for somebody to tell you the route you're taking isn't the right way when they not behind you when you take those falls. People don't understand. I'm doing all this by myself now because anything that I lose, I can blame myself. I can go back on myself and say, this is where it went wrong.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody else helping bringing me down. If I have a team, I want to be able to clearly say, these are my expectations for my team. These are my expectations for my girls. You coming in, you better be a person of your word. Ain't no missing practices because you do this XYZ. I expect you there because I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
I take an 1.5 hour bus ride every single day to practice. Oof. And I don't, if I'm missing, it's for a reason, baby.
Yeah.
I don't play that. Like, if structure, and nothing wrong with structure. That's one thing with my child too. Consistent structure, consistently having that. You have to have you got to be on the right road to follow. You have to have something to follow. And when I first started this, I didn't. You know, my team was always fluctuating, parents in and out, kids coming whenever they want to do whatever they want. And it was like, oh, well, how can I get people to respect what I'm doing? Because my heart was in it way too much at the time. You know, it was just like, oh, well, if it's recreational, they can come whenever they want. And it's like, well, I have a bigger plan. Well, what's your plan? I don't know. Well, it's just a plan, you know. I know I got something.
Yeah.
But and then when people actually, what do you want to do? Like, you can't hold them to a standard if you don't have your standards there. You got to have a plan. And the one thing I'm able to show my baby now is just like, create a consistent plan, create a path, and follow it. You know, everybody's going to have something to say. Everybody's going to have an opinion. Keep going. And the fact that this is something like, Mommy, when you get too over the Vybe Queenz, can I take it over?
Yes,
I'm like, of course you can. You sure can take over the Vybe Queenz. But you got to run it like me. You can't do this. You can't let them do that. And it's just like, it fulfills me so much. And just to have the support that I have just makes it even better. Like, to keep going, like, to get in the car, even if I had a bad day, to get in the car and to have, you know, I mean, how did it go today? How was practice today? You know, or having him call and be like, the Vybe Queenz need pieces today. You want me to bring you a piece? Like, that support. Even my parents, Coach, you need anything? What's up? Like, because the vision, you set the vision and have them follow it. You just, as long as you write the script and making sure everybody follow their role, it all starts to work out.
I love that. And like, you just said a whole mouthful on all that, and I want to go back to generational curses because I'm definitely big into that, and without necessarily getting into everything, like you talk about, like, you know, doing the shadow work and things like that. Like, I want to kind of dig deep. I want to kind of I guess not dig deep, but like get people to understand like what that looks like. And I know everybody is has different ways of doing that, but like in a way where maybe you can maybe give advice to somebody else, a mother who has been through the same thing, a woman, not even just a mother, a queen out there that has been maybe like heard some of the things you said about like, oh my gosh, I was in foster care too. Oh my gosh, I have health issues and and it's caused me to be this hurt or broken way, and I want to know what it looks like to have do shadow work so I can break generational curses. Like, what would you tell one of your girls who might be going
out what makes you tick.
Mm.
Figure out what triggers you. Break it down. Why does it trigger you?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you feel like this is bothering you at this time? How can you work through that?
Mm-hmm.
Is there somebody that you need to make amends with?
Mm.
Is there somebody that you need to apologize to? Is there something that you need to take accountability for? Self-forgiveness. Forgive yourself. Oof. Forgive yourself. One thing I always want to tell my baby, forgive yourself for any and everything that goes on in your life, because some things were out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
And you might not make all the right decisions right then and there, but you got to forgive the decisions that you could have made, you could not have made. Like, I realize figuring out what makes me tick also is a part of that trauma, because a lot of things I react to is a lot of things I went through.
Ooh, that's a whole word. That's a whole word.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good right there. Figuring out what makes you tick, because like I know even from my personal experiences with my trauma I've went through it, like even to this day, like I always say, like, you're always healing. Like every day you're healing. Every day you're realizing like you know, oh, this still bothers me. This still is a trigger for me. So what am I going to do to work on it? Like, and you talk a lot about having a supportive boyfriend and somebody who is really there to support you through not just your goals, but your life. So how, I know you've shared a lot about him, but like, how is having that healthy support system? How does that help with your healing and your
I think first of all, we totally opposite people. Like everything he is everything I'm not. Everything, like, he's very social and he's out where he's charismatic and he can make a conversation with anybody, you know, and he can hold a conversation. He knows how to, you know, get things out of what he need, you know. And me personally, I'm more of a sit in the background. I don't have the most approachable face, you know. I don't like to say resting B word. I don't have the resting bitch face. I feel like I have a face of discernment. If you feel like you shouldn't approach me, don't approach me. That's how I feel. Like, I always be very self-conscious, like, oh my God, I hope I'm not looking too mean. Or people like, I don't want to talk to her because she looks mean. And it's like, if you feel like I'm too mean to talk to, baby, don't talk to me. Because maybe I am. Maybe it's just my aura that's going to disrupt you before we even have a conversation. And he's more or less like that person where I don't really make female friends. The right way, I guess I should say, because I'm more of a type of person where I'm a Pisces, so I adapt easily and I fall too hard for what I feel a friend is. And I overshare, or I might get too close too soon and share too much, or not really use my own discernment, you know. Most of the time the advice I give people is usually the advice I should be taking. So it's just like, now I'm in a way where he's that brain of use your head, you know. Everybody's not your friend, but you also know that everybody ain't your enemy either. And you have to understand the balance of a relationship as far as a friendship and a relationship is business. And I'm still learning that professional work, because girl knows I can get real unprofessional real quick.
I just said something like that. If it wasn't for God,
you know, but
I get it. But
it's like having that person, and then he's like in a certain type of, like me, I'm real chill, like whatever, it's whatever. But he's just it's a drive, and it's just like, I need that. Like, if I didn't see the passion, like that passion is the example that I need to keep moving forward. I need that he keeps going no matter what. And it's just like, that's exactly why we're together, because everything he exudes is everything I need as a person.
Man.
And he's teaching me not to be codependent, if that makes sense.
No,
he's
it
teaching
makes very
me
much sense.
To even with or without him, you need to be able to stand on your 10 on your own.
Yeah.
And that is where I learned, I used to always say, I have abandonment issues. And you don't need anybody. Everybody's going to leave once a point. I mean, death, like I don't take death well, I barely talk about my sister. I barely talk about my grandpa. And those was the people that was really, really close to me, because I use avoidance. I avoid it to make sure that I don't relive or feel the traumas of what I went through. And sometimes you have to face it. You have to sit in those uncomfortable emotions to get through it.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Okay, my girl out here telling, like,
girl,
that's
this is just real life.
No, this is real
life.
And you and I even want to talk about how you had said something earlier about how your daughter even sees this man loving you right, and how important has that become for you to? And do you just have your daughter?
No, I have a 14-year-old son.
Okay,
too.
I was gonna say, I think you had a son too. So even having them see this, like, how has that like helped them maybe in how they're growing into the young man and woman they are?
Or right now we just raised, like,
I was gonna say, not even just with him, I won't even say with you, like, how has that changed maybe them seeing, I'm not sure where you were when you first were a mother versus now, but like, how has that even changed them as young men and women to want to maybe go after their dreams more, or be more driven, or be more happy, and things like that?
Girl, right now, like, we just raising kids that's just spoiled rotten, like right now they are very blessed kids. And I'm in a position now where it's just like, I want my kids to understand there is a struggle. I don't want to be, I'm not one of those parents where I want to give my kid everything I didn't have, because there's a lot I didn't have, and that's going to be a lot of giving.
Yeah.
So I just want my kids to learn gratitude, appreciation, understand, as long as you appreciate what you give, what you have. Like, that's one thing that I used to always be like, I don't have this. I can't, I don't have, like, I always was in a mentality of lack, because I was constantly dwelling on what I didn't have. And now when I just be grateful just to wake up, just to clean my house, I clean the house. I cleaned the house today, and I got dinner ready, and sometimes, like, it doesn't happen as much as I wanted to now, because like that time management, but just being just the small things, just having my kids just, yeah, you can go ahead and get the newest electronic out, you got we don't like stay stepdad or anything, but they have that example that's going to ride for them anywhere, like anything my kids need extra, like it's there, I want them to learn another aspect of the materialistic things, like being grateful for the people you have in your life,
right?
Because not everybody's replaceable, right? Not everybody's going to come. Oh, like I told my son, he's in that whole little dating little girl stage and stuff like that. Yeah, you still young, but realize, that childhood sweetheart stuff, that's a real thing. It's a real thing. Yes. So just make sure, like, if you ever fall in love with somebody, like, it's a certain way that I want him to be able to bow out of relationships gracefully. I don't want my daughter staying in relationships too long. There is a certain chance of too many chances. Yeah. There is the thing, and I want my kids to recognize trauma immediately and not having to keep giving the benefit of the doubt or holding on, because that's where the childhood trauma comes in. We've seen our parents holding on to things for too long. Yeah. We've seen them having to push their feelings aside to do or to satisfy their own needs and things like that. Like, I want my daughter, it's not that. You seen how mommy roll, get up and go. If it's not that. And my son, you get up and go when it's your time. Like, everything has a time. You do not have to put up with anything you don't deserve at any time from anyone.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there, for sure. So you have been, you said you started Vybe Queenz in 2017, and you August started 5th. That's awesome. That's I don't think I realized you started that far back. But so what is, I mean, I guess without telling, I guess what is fully the Vybe Queenz actually? Like what are they
It
all
started
about?
out as just a dance team. Like I
Mhm.
just, I wanted to get little girls together and just dance. And, at some point it really started rolling into people started asking me, well, what's the outcome? What's the vision of it? Like,
Mhm.
what are you doing? And I was always stumped because I was just like, well, we're dancing.
Yeah.
We're together. And then one day I met a woman and she sat me down literally in a coffee shop, the Tipsy Bean to be exact.
Yes, we love the Tipsy Bean.
And she sat me down and she said, what do you want to do with yourself? She was
Mm.
like, I don't know if you are putting enough value on what you're doing, but
Wow.
I feel like you have something here and you need to go after it. And she
Mhm.
said, I don't have nothing more, nothing less to say to you. She's like, but go home and write down what it means to you to have this.
Yeah.
What impact are you trying to make? Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
And when I went home and I made my list and I was like, wow, it does mean more to me than what I was putting into it. It does mean more to me than, and now I realize like whenever I have an idea, I don't wait for anything. I realize that's a very expensive habit to have because I wake up 3:00 in the morning and just order uniforms. I don't even know what I'm ordering from. Just order. Like I just have a vision. Just order.
I just saw some of those uniforms too. You just got new ones in there. Amazing.
Oh, we ain't even drop everything yet, but
Okay.
I ain't gonna say too much on here.
Yeah,
but
no, you ain't got to. You don't have to.
It's a lot. It's a lot in store. It's a lot in store.
Yeah.
My girls are amazing. Like they are so amazing. It gets hard though, as far as like dealing with a lot of kids and dealing with different parents. It gets hard because you get attached, and you get attached in ways where you just you have to use that being a coach, being a friend, and being a mentor. Like it all, and sometimes you have some real tough decisions, and we also go through things in life where a lot of things could be handled differently from a coach's standpoint, from a parent standpoint. Just I feel like the best thing for me to do is just start realizing I can't save everybody. I can't do it. I can't put all, I love hard. I love extremely hard. And the Vybe Queenz, this is my baby.
Yeah.
That's nobody's gonna take any of that from me.
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw, I'm always proud of them. Them little girls, they are so amazing. And then to have my baby on the team now is just like, it's like literally, it's like my own dream has come true.
Yeah.
And to know that she looks up to this so much, and it's just like to keep going and things, my ideas is getting bigger and brighter, and hopefully my boyfriend know he's gonna have to come out of his pocket just a little bit.
Holly, you heard it. I know you watching.
Give me a couple of ducats, because I stay. He always like, the Vybe Queenz need this. Yes, the Vybe Queenz need
we are
this.
building. We are building.
And it's when you're doing it the right way, because everybody used to always say, dance is so expensive. And I'm like, no, it's not. I got it. And it is.
Is it?
Woo.
Yeah.
I was almost working at the paint, girl.
Yeah.
I was almost working at the paint.
Oh my
But listen,
gosh.
when you really find something that you really love to do, you will find a way every time. You will always find it. Like now, like I didn't think like, would my team ever get here? Would it ever get here? Like 2 years ago, I was like, oh, it's going to be a minute before I ever have anybody that I consider elite, or it's going to be a minute before this. And I realized I wasn't even putting everything I needed to put into it for it to be what it is today.
Yeah.
I realized how much time, effort, time management, how much it takes to keep the wheels going, communication with your parents. It is so important to be transparent.
Yes.
You cannot,
it is.
You have to say what it is in the beginning up front so that there is no misconception. I have a vision. You're going to be with it or you're going to be against it,
for sure. With that, because I grew up, my dad's a basketball coach. We've been in like this our whole lives, and I've seen like he's a basketball coach for his own program, plus he's been a high school coach, and you've seen how he's had to transition and do things that he might have done in the beginning with being a coach and allowing to now. It's like you have to like set that standard for what you want and what you expect, because it not only is for you, but it's to mold and shape the young women that you are not just coaching, but you're helping now raise. And that's important. That's a big deal. Like whatever activities our children are in, we kind of want to expect that, like, this coach, like we want our children to be looking up to this person, and we want to make sure they're giving value to what our children's lives and helping them grow, because a lot of children grow up and they look back and it's like one of their main people that help raise them or help teach them and mold them and shape them is their coaches. So when they're in activities, so it's important to set certain standards, and as you grow, you learn this works this way, this doesn't work, this causes this doesn't. So it's like it's a constant challenge, and you're only in the first how many years. So by the time you're really growing, there's going to be things that you do and don't do that you never did before.
Definitely. I really feel like now it's just like, it's my year.
Yeah.
No matter what, like this is my year. My girls, they have projects in the works that I don't feel like nobody's going to be expecting coming out of Erie.
That's exciting.
It's been such a harvest from last January on up. Like it's been such a harvest season for me, planting those seeds, watering them, and just the hard part is just like waiting for them to grow. Because it's just like, you want to be like, hey, this is what I'm out here doing, but I'm not like a showboaty person. I even understand I need to share my stuff more.
A little bit more.
I like to share just a little bit more.
To not be so humble either. So it definitely
I'm trying to get myself up there to where I'm just get my girls out there a little bit more, because you're going to see them with HBCU scholarships. You're going to see them on the TV, on, doing background for Lizzo and all that. You're going to see it. It's going to be something, whether I create that lane for them or they create it for themselves. Just like with these dance videos and stuff like that. Maybe they don't want to do dance. Maybe they want to act. Maybe they want to, let them, explore other avenues, but let this be the stepping stone for it.
Yeah.
Let's highlight their characteristics in a way that's really fun for them. That's really dope. Like, let's, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a stickler. Yeah. I have expectations. I'll be on their behind. I'll be on their butt. They know they come to practice. Be on your 10, because I don't have a problem with cutting you now. Like, you will get cut out of a routine quick. But that's the one thing that I had to learn through all of this, is learning a structure, learning a path. Like, it's easy to sit here and say, oh, I'm doing this, and have all the, accolades of doing it. But if you're not doing it right, then what is it? Like, how far is it going to go?
Yeah.
Where, so I really had to really sit myself down and like, what's the purpose? What are you doing this for? And now, girl, I realize my imagination is so expensive. It's so expensive.
Listen,
oh my God.
Coming, for sure.
Oh, listen, and with or without the funds, like that's another thing, is I invest in my girls before anybody else will invest in them. I believe in them before anybody else do. So it doesn't matter. It could cost $10,000. That $10,000 is going to be got. I'm going to get it, whether I got to fundraise, whether I got to ask. I'm forever asking my mom, my man, my grandma. I'm forever asking somebody for some money. Because listen, you might not see the vision now, but get with the program.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, and I'm not gonna lie, I was very naive for what is needed in the dance world. Extremely naive. I thought all I had to do was just show up with some kids and show up to a company. I thought that's all I had to do. And then when they were, what do you have this? And well, where is this? Is your team registered? Where's your insurance? Like, wait a minute, hold up. I thought I got about 15 kids here. What do you mean? What are you talking about? So it's just like, it's a lot that goes into it. And when you really put that time, you cannot cheat the system.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'll never, when I'm riding home on the bus after standing out in the cold and stuff like that, when I'm riding home on the bus, I actually like it, because I'm remembering, like, this is where I started. Yeah. It's going to pay off. It means something to me. I like the hustle. I like the hustle of it, because can't nobody take nothing from me. And like I think, I don't know if it was Viola Davis, or I'm not sure if the woman that was said it, when she was like, the word entrepreneur means I did it by myself.
Ooh, that's good.
And it was like, that fits me, because you know what? I am riding on this all by myself. Can nobody saying they doing nothing. There's no coaches. There's no nothing. You see those uniforms. When you see those camera, like, I'm reaching out to these people. I'm reaching out to HBCU committees and really trying to, you know, really figure out the ins and outs. So when I'm doing it, it's right.
Yeah.
It is right. And it's a lot of work. And I didn't realize that. And it's like, the reward of it is just like, man, seeing my girls just, whenever I pull it off, Coach Tay, you did this for us. Coach Tay, you got, and it's just a beautiful feeling when my daughter's like, Mom, this is for me. Like, you got this for me. And it's just like, man, it's like that healing, that childhood trauma. It's the healing.
I feel like I'm healing
it's
my
the
childhood
healing
trauma
of it.
through
It's like,
you.
it's just like,
Yes.
you feel like your purpose when you in your purpose.
Yes.
And that adversity word, I just learned what that meant, girl. Because
so let's talk.
Nobody even knew what a Vybe Queen was. Like, I thought, if I'm not bothering nobody, I felt like if I didn't mess with anyone, I would fly under the radar and just pop out. Whoa, it doesn't work like that, honey. I didn't realize it didn't work like that.
Yeah.
And then I realized I'm also working on myself still, because when that adversity word pull up, I be wanting to pull up. So I just got to realize, like, everything takes time.
Yeah.
Everything one step at a time. You know, I'm so glad I have my parents. My parents is bomb. You know, I can call.
Shout out to the parents.
Shout out to the Vybe Queen parents.
Watching. And her twin, her mama is her twin. I just met her mom today. I'm like, oh my gosh.
You would have thought I was on VH1. She was like, my baby go to podcast today.
She on the Divinely Crowned Conversations. This is better than
I know
VH1.
that's right.
Okay.
You better tell him again.
Yes.
You better tell him again.
You heard it.
I know I was all nervous. Like, oh, like, what am I going to say today?
Oh,
I got my copper wig on, girl. Y'all show me. Y'all see me. So, you know.
And I have to, we got to be, let's talk. I mean, the wigs. Like,
yes.
Tavia is her. Every time I see her posting, it's about wigs and stuff.
Yes.
And I think I love it because it shows like her confidence. So with that, confidence is Divinely Crowned is all about self-love and confidence. So you talk, hey, I love these wigs. I ain't got no shame. Like, what does confidence mean to you, and how do you show it?
I'm still learning that. You know, I'm still learning that confidence word, because I realized, like, don't get it messed up. I kind of hide behind my hair. You know, like having epilepsy.
Yes.
And, you know, like, I cut all my hair off and then I dyed it so that my hair was falling out, and, you know, the chemicals and my meds and things like that. Like, a lot of that stuff don't go together. So, you know, I was a little, you know, Patchy the Pirate for a little minute, you know. So, you know, ain't nothing to slap a wig on, you know. And to have a man that's not judgmental, you know, he get his cracks, his jokes in. And that's what the fun of it too, because when somebody loves you unconditionally, like, it's, you know, I can be patchy around him. I'm talking about now, but you know, that's love. And it's like the wigs too. He could just, you know, I could be Vivica today. I be Sasha tomorrow. You don't need to go out there and find nobody else, baby. What you want, the blue wig? I give it a blue one. You want a green wig? I like a green one too. So it's like, I really like, my confidence is growing. But I'm trying to figure out, because my mom, she just exudes confidence.
She jumped out that car.
Her confidence is everything. Is just like, man, I kind of want it, but I don't want my confidence just to be on, you know, stank mode. Because I got a feling once I really tap into my confidence, you ain't gonna be able to tell me nothing. Like, but I'm really also like, I'm just humble by nature. Like, I'm just grateful for a lot of things, you know. And I know there's a lot of stuff that, as a person, that I need to work on, and I'm still working on, but I came a long way when it comes to healing.
That's
man.
So good.
Like, to feel free mentally. Like, I just started feeling that feeling of not having the shackles on of dang, like, what can I do? Like, what can I, you know, just when you actually walking in your purpose. When you walking into something that you're destined to, this is something I'm destined, because I've tried to drop it numerous of times.
It be like that.
And somehow, some way, it always falls back into my lap. You need to do this. And honestly, like, a lot of my teaching, like the way I do things, the way I move really comes from how like the Bulldogs, like, Terry Jackson and Allen and, even Biggie, like they so different, many personalities, but it's almost like me wrapped into like this amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm amazing because honestly, there's not too many.
There's not,
I feel that because like I'm starting to feel powerful, but because it's
Yes.
just so many examples around me. I'm able to be around so many different people that exude just like so many different characteristics, like it's, he has this and he has that and she even has this, like, and I do know like at one point I do want to get to a point where I'm able to make female relationships and not think so standoffish, because I do realize like socially when it comes to women, I'm always like everybody's on angles, because any woman I've ever met at any given time, not ever, because I've met some really, really dope women, but I also have that social awkwardness where feeling like, well, how does she feel about me? Like, and that's me. It's all in my mental. I really have to get out of that, I want to say mentally comparing. I'm always mentally comparing myself to, well, she's doing this in life. Maybe she don't think what I'm doing is qualified to be sitting in the same room with her. Maybe I don't. Sometimes I dumb myself down because I'm like, well, I'm not on a chair of anything. But then it's like, hold on, I'm in these rooms with these women. How am I not on the same level? I'm rubbing shoulders with these women. They're telling me I'm awesome, and then I'm thinking they're awesome, but we're not, and they're always like, well, girl, call me. And I'm like, yeah, girl, I'm gonna call you. And then it's just like, I am not calling that woman. Like, like I don't want to be that awkward person. And it's just
and
like,
I don't even know if it's hard.
It is definitely.
It is hard sometimes to understand who is for you and who is not, especially when you are growing your purpose. When you're growing in your purpose, like that's like you said, even like with the Vybe Queenz, that's your baby. You healing yourself, you're your baby. Like, so it's hard when you're trying to figure out, okay, is this person really for me? Because I do want to try to give them a chance, but I don't know if they're gonna do me wrong. And sometimes it's a lot of trial and error when you're connecting with people.
Definitely.
But it's what you do with what you've learned. What you do. Okay, this person, I realized they weren't for me, and so let me,
and that's the one thing I get tired of, realizing that person wasn't for you, and it's just hard for you to get yourself putting yourself back out there. And I would rather, after a long day, like go off and be at home and just in the room and just throwing on my music and my 8 counts and figuring out what I need to do for the week, getting my lessons plans ready for the week, figuring out the next big thing for the Vybe Queenz, because I'm always 10 steps ahead of that last step. And I realized that. And at first I used to be like, you need to slow down. But then I'm like, when I got such of a lack mentality when I feel like I'm doing too much. And it's just like, man, when I just see it through, I really get to the point where now, like, oh, this little video is not little, because we all know that's gonna
ain't
be a big
nothing
video
little about the
that.
Vybe Queenz.
Ain't nothing little about my team. Nothing's little about
Say
them.
that,
Big vibes all day. But
let's go to the comments real quick, because I have some here. So, Miss Cassandra said, "Okay, Queens, I have Facebook user, which let me see if I can see on the actual thing who that is, because I don't know." Who is that? Oh, that's Terry. Terry says, Tater Tot, my dog.
Oh my goodness. No, he didn't call me Tater Tot. Why you gonna read that on a podcast? You better stop calling me. I can't believe you called me Tater
I love
Tot.
nicknames. He also said, it's growing pain. It's grown pain is everything you do. Keep striving, sis. Unintended situation in everything you do. Success not giving. And then he said, Bulldogs, of course.
Of course, he BD all day.
Yes. So I asked Brooklyn if you listened to my last podcast, and I said I think I'm gonna ask this question all the time.
She is so dope.
Yes, I think I'm gonna ask this question every time, because we talk, Divinely Crowned is all about where we come from and where we're going. And for me personally, a lot of stuff happened. A lot of the insecurities and things from my childhood, like I grew into that, and then I had to find my way out of as this adult woman is now a confidence coach.
Definitely.
And so I'm like, you know, but I feel like that little girl still is healing, and she's so excited inside of me. So I asked Brooklyn, and I'm going to ask you, like, what would you tell little Tavia at where you are right now?
See it through.
See it through.
See it through. Because at this day and age, like at this time of my life, I remember being that little girl at Wayne, knowing that every day I was going to somebody else different. I was going to somebody different house. You know, I was going to somebody else's house, and it's just like, man, like I didn't know the future held for me.
Yeah.
You know, being in a situation where that one person that's supposed to love you first, you know, and no diss to my mom, of course, never, ever, you know, me and her, we've healed our situation, you know, but having that first person that's supposed to love you, how are you going to love other people? How are you going to love your daughter? Like when I got pregnant with my daughter, I feel like that was like a turning point in everything, because my son, I'm not going to lie, I was just like, well, the dad's going to raise him. I'm going to give him the mother's love. And I coddled my son way too much, you know, because I shielded him from the world. You know, he don't even want to play football because I kept my breast in his mouth the whole time. You know, the poor boy don't want to get hit. He don't want to get dirty. And that's all my fault, because, you know, my kids are 8 years apart. So it really took like, it took a lot for me to really realize, like, I have to change how I'm being loved. I have to change the outcome of what I want my future to look like. And I realized I had to give myself time.
Yeah.
Self-forgiveness.
Yes.
It's a big thing.
It is.
Because, you know, that childhood trauma ain't no joke.
It isn't.
It ain't no joke. And one thing I would definitely tell myself is see it through. I would have never guessed. Like, I always thought this would be something that I always wanted to do. And there is people like I look at that's like 40 and 50s right now, and they're like, well, I'm going to do this when I get here, or they're still in that mindset of when they get there.
Yeah.
And we in 2022. I don't know how much time you think
listen, got.
People dropping and
crazy.
Like, you know, so now it's just like, if there's any time to do something that you love, it's now. It's really now. It's to really feel blessed in a way where I could do anything. Like, I feel like I can do anything. I
love that.
To feel like I can take, you know,
yes.
I love the fact that even if it's a crazy idea, like, I got somebody that's riding with me through that craziness, you know, like, it doesn't matter what it costs, what it takes. It's just that drive to want to get it done. And them girls is the reward. Yes. Them little girls, they faces lighting up to see them always coming to practice. Like, even when I cut them, like, I even feel some type of way when I cut them, like, you know, and then they working even harder to get back in. It's just like, that to me is just such it's a reward that I feel like no money on this earth can give me. I feel like I've lived what I'm supposed to do already. Yes. Like, I'm living it. Even if it don't make me a trillionaire or a millionaire, if you ever spoke to me, I'm not a materialistic woman. I mean, for crying out loud, I don't got no damn nails.
Oh my God.
You know, so I don't do the
I got my nails.
Not like that. No, what I'm saying is, like,
I get you.
A lot of things that I felt like I would be into, I really don't put that much emphasis on. Like, I'm literally, when I'm all about Vybe Queenz. I could talk about my babies all day. Aria,
you can tell the love.
You know, Maya, like, them is they all of them. You know, Regine, like, I just can't wait to, like, when the weekend comes. It's just like, oh, gotta wait until the next week to get to practice, and it means something to know that we all look forward to it. Like, when we be in our app and stuff like that. Coach, I miss you, coach. Coach, I can't wait to see you Monday, coach.
Don't make
coach.
Me cry.
And it's like, girl, I'll be at home with a glass of wine, like, I miss y'all too. I can't, you know, and it's just like, when it fulfills you, like, that's it. Like, that's the best feeling in the world.
For sure.
And then, girl, I'm gonna still keep getting my when you start charging me for my coach session, because I'll be calling you like, what am I supposed to do with my life? Like, because you know what? Like, I will say that I have opened up a lot more to myself and my likes, my dislikes. I'm able to verbalize someone like, hey, this is what I need from you as a person. And a lot of that was like came from our conversations. I know I hit you up. Well, you actually hit me
Yeah,
up.
I did.
And when you reached out to me, it was so crazy because I was just like, I'm not the type of person to reach out to anyone 1st. And it's hard for me because I know that I'm socially awkward. I can't get out of that because I'm always in my mind of I'm not thirsty for no friend, girl. I'll be at home by myself before that I'm thirsty for a friend. But it's like, man, when you really meet genuine people, like it's a good deal. It's a good link up mashup. We got some stuff in the store too,
Yes,
so y'all might have to.
do.
We ain't gonna spill it out,
No,
but you know we working on
won't.
some big things.
No, and and when I did reach out, like it's funny because I like kept telling myself, like, just reach out, let her know, like, if you ever need somebody to come talk to your girls and things like that. And funny thing is, I was like, these girls, they look real confident, but she's like, no, thank you. And it's like, I just always believe in everything happening for a reason. And she had told me, like, I've been wanting to reach out to you, and just the way it connected, it's been beautiful.
I'm really trying to reach out to more people. There's a lot of other people that I see that are doing great things in the community that I really want to reach out to. And first things first, I do also got to realize, like, everybody that's a pillar in the community is not a pillar in the community. Like, I'm starting to learn that, and I have to watch out who I look up to in the community. But I also have to put myself out there more, especially for the sake of my team, because I know where we're going.
Yeah.
I know the conversations that I'm having with some really, really powerful people and some really, really big states and whatnot. So we're not gonna speak on
talk
it,
about it.
But there's Vybe Queenz got some real big offers and plans on the table.
Exciting.
So it's like we doing some real crazy things. And even like after competition, this team is going to be moving in a very, very, very upward position. So it's like I can't wait till the world see what the queens have been doing. I can't wait to drop our competition battle uniforms. But we doing a lot. We doing a lot in a little bit of time. So, and now anything that y'all see from the Vybe Queenz, that was our harvesting. Yes. Now y'all just gonna start seeing the fruits of the labor.
Yes, come on, fruits. So, well, first of all, I just want to say I admire how much, like, I literally can feel as we're sitting here just the love and the passion for this program that you have. And I think that speaks volumes. Like, you can tell this isn't just, like I said, this isn't just a dance team to you. This is, you love these girls like they're your own. And it seems like even just when I see on social media with you interacting with the mothers and stuff and how they're cheering you on, and it's just like, wow, this looks like a family. This looks like a queendom in itself. And I just love that. And I'm just so excited.
Oh, don't get it messed up. I get on their nerves.
And I get it.
I get on their nerves.
And that is a family. So it happens. That's part of growth and learning and healing, is those times of getting on each other's nerves, those times of, having to maybe say and do things that might break your heart, but it's for a reason. So I'm just so excited to see what the Vybe Queenz have going on. You had something else?
Oh no, I just was gonna say, like, even like us as a family, like even if we going through things as a family, like I do want my Vybe Queen parents to know, like, regardless of anything we ever go through, like, I feel like anything can always be settled through a conversation. Have a conversation with me, sit down with me, when things are tense, let them calm down, and then we can actually speak and have conversations, because girls come and go from the team a lot. There's haven't been a girl that wanted to get back on the team that couldn't get back on the team for any other reason. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if we can talk and really have an adult conversation, you never know the future of your child. But we all know that at the end of the day, when it comes to these kids, I will argue you down about your child. It does not matter. Like, because that's how I get attached to them. I get attached to them fast. And I would never, ever try to diminish any girl's dreams, pride, any of that. They all know when they come in my program, I'm gonna build you up and break you down to build you back up, because you're gonna be stronger. That's all about learning your strength. Giving up is not an option. You cannot say can't in my class. You cannot say tired, because I don't know that. I can't. I ain't got no car, and I get to practice. You know what I'm saying? I can't say tired and I be exhausted. I try to implement those lessons. And one thing about us as a Vibe Queen family is it all can it I'm gonna work with whatever. It's just your presentation and how you want to work with it. I don't do well to attention or anything like that because baby, the Vibe Queens as a whole is the attention, not all on one. So it's just like my foundation is everything because that's where it started. I don't do shaky foundation. As soon as you try to shake the ground, you gotta go. Yeah. So it's like, Vibe Queen parents know I'm rolling with them 10 wholeheartedly, and I have an open door policy. Call me 3:00 in the morning. Hey, why my baby get cut? First of all, ask your child. But secondly, this is why, there's not been a Vibe Queen on my team yet that I haven't had a hard conversation with for whatever reason. And we're also able to see your side and I see my side. I'm never too good to apologize if and when I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the team that I have now, solid. It is what it is, and I don't know if you can be in a room with my girls, but it's just an energy.
I can't
they
wait
hungry.
To be in the room with them.
They want it.
November 12th.
November 12th, they will be in Buffalo. So trust me, get tickets, do whatever you got to do because them little girls they're it. They're really it. They've been working hard. It's a beautiful thing.
So I have Nikki Stevens here. She said, "Okay, Fader."
That's my mom.
Fabulous. I'm super proud. And then Asia, she said, I have a question for a dance mom perspective. My daughter has been in dance since she could literally walk. She's 4 now. And for the first time on Wednesday, she doesn't feel like going to class. And I'm conflicted. I ended up still taking her, but any advice? That's a good question. What you got, coach?
I really would get down to the bottom of why. I mean, at 4 years old, it may be just an intention thing. Like she just is the dance for her or for you. Like, not no disrespect to Asia, depending on how I'm sorry, how old is the child?
She's 4. Okay. She's been dancing since she could walk, which I remember because she used to dance for littles with a little tutu on. Oh, yeah. But now she's 4. She's 4 now, and for the first time on Wednesday doesn't feel like going to class.
And maybe it's the genre. Maybe she want to do a different type of dance. Maybe it's not.
Asia, what type of dance does she do?
It could be a lot of different things. Maybe it could be just growing up and seeing that there's other things that she might have interest in that just not be, that there's girls that's on a team that gets on the team. And, I just had one little girl I brought back and, she got back on the team and she realized I love y'all as a team, but I want to do gymnastics.
Oh, wow.
And at first I was like, oh, no. And then, but at the same time, you respect it because this is what you're pushing them towards, to push them towards their own dreams, push them towards what they want to do, like it's not necessarily we all, we want our child to follow a certain type of, but sometimes just listening to them, and it's not necessarily letting them quit.
Okay.
It's not necessarily letting them quit. It's just, all right, if you don't let her go to that one practice, see what she do with her time. See what she's into. See what she want to do. If it's not nothing constructive, you're going back to class Wednesday. Give her, what I'm saying?
Good advice.
But at the same time,
she does jazz and ballet. So I don't know. I don't know if it's the genre or just, but I like that advice to, see sometimes kids just be
just
they be kidding.
Or either that or
my son,
kids too. Yeah. They also kids they go through tired moments too. They go through those mental, 4 years old, ain't no telling how they feel too. The foods and all that changes kids' moods, how they feel, their energy levels. So, what they used to get out of it, they may not get that same enjoyment out of it anymore. So,
that's good. That's good. I hope that advice helped you a little bit, Asia. And I know we're gonna wrap up here. My son got early dismissal today. So listen, real honest and transparent. I'm a mama. Y'all know this by now. But I just want to take the time. First of all, I do want to say this. You have epilepsy, and this month is actually Epilepsy Awareness Month. And I am still learning, and I would like to actually be more, because I actually have quite a few women, and I don't know, I know that might have to be a whole nother topic, but quite a few women that I know have it. And I just want, to encourage us all to maybe be more aware of what that means, especially this month. It's you wear purple this month, which is my royalty color. Like, that's royalty. So
Yep.
I just want to even just tell you that I'm thinking of you as, you
Thank you.
continue
Thank you.
through, dealing with this. And I just want to say thank you
Thank
for
you
your
so much,
time.
girl.
Like this, I this was awesome.
Definitely.
I know.
I feel like I rambled a little bit.
No,
but-
you did good. You did good. She said, Tavia, Asia said, thank you. And my grandmother, Miss Stella, she's like one of my biggest fans. I love her. She said, Tavia, you are doing an excellent interview, sharing your personal journey and success, keeping it real and relevant. Much success and many blessings working with young people. You are very poised and professional. Thank you. Or
Thanks
thanks.
so much.
Yes. So yes, thank you.
Thanks,
I
girl.
cannot wait to see the growth even more of the Vybe Queenz. I can't wait for us to continue to connect and just everything. And I just appreciate you for sharing your heart today and your journey. And it's a beautiful journey you're on.
Thank you so much.
So
Thank you for having me on.
Yes,
Girl, I
for
felt
sure.
like I don't know.
You did
it's
just fine.
great.
You did great.
Thank you.
But yes, and thank you everybody who watched and listened. I hope that you were able to get something from this conversation. And we're just going to continue to have these intimate, honest, open, and transparent conversations as we're building our own personal queendoms, as well as a bigger queendom, which is all of us coming together. Don't forget to Divinely Crown on like pretty much all platforms at this point: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. And just get ready for the next conversation. I have so many queens lined up, and I just can't wait to continue to grow together.
Congratulations on your podcast too, babe.
Thank you. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap up, and you have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. And just keep being the royalty you were destined to be. All right. Bye, guys.